Okay.
What was that?
That was me exerting myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd call it that. Welcome to Get Your Hopes Up.
Sure, why not?
There we go.
Welcome. We made it. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. This was a great show.
Oh, I added to the last second. Sorry, I know we already started the show, but fuck it, I'm adding stuff last second.
All right, fine. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So welcome to Don't Get Your Hopes Up, the show that we don't edit, and so that's why all of that just happened.
Mm-hmm.
My name is James May. I'm here with, as always, Mr. Richard Hammond. Yeah.
Yeah! That was my best. That's all I had.
Yeah. I mean, the only other thing you could do is slowly jizz yourself over American muscle cars. And, yeah.
There you go.
But slowly.
I could do that.
I don't know how that works functionally, but
just ease myself into it.
Yeah. So, a whole lot of nothing happened in the last week, we thought, and then now we have a very large document full of things.
Yeah, somehow.
So, I guess we can start with... Oh, so if we're talking about Top Gear, we should start with this thing about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
There you go.
Which is that it's fucking great. Like, it's really good. Like, I think I am of the belief that this may be the best Mario Kart ever. And that includes, like, 64. It's just so good. And it's interesting the stuff that they added to it on top of the regular game. You said you played it, right?
Yeah, I played it last weekend. And graphically it looks amazing. Like
yeah, it looks really nice.
What we were playing, I'm fucking terrible at it. But I was also like really just like not 100%. I was like 1% actually. So that might have had something to do with it.
Probably.
But it's it's still a lot of fun. I didn't have a chance to really explore it and check out any of the cool stuff, because then they add like you have a Splatoon player now, right?
Yep.
And then a bunch of other stuff.
They added the Inklings. They added a couple characters from Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm.
I think they added one other, but I don't remember what it was right now.
So this is more like Nintendo All-Stars now.
Yeah, pretty much. They kind of Mario games have kind of been like that for a while, and I think like with the Inklings, they're like, finally we have another franchise that people like. We haven't had a new one in so long.
Put them in everything.
Put them in everything. Just need to get some like Samus in there. Give me a little Metroid driving around. That'll be great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So things that I like about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe specifically, because they added a lot of like actual features to it. They added the 200cc race, which like totally changes how you play Mario Kart, because now you have to fucking brake. And that was one of those like I don't understand how to brake in a Mario Kart game. It's you hold down the go button the whole time and jump. That's about it.
Yeah, it's a lot of people in racing games actually. What brake?
Yeah. What brake? But yeah, like you have to like really slow down around corners.
That explains a lot, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, that actually explains quite a bit.
Yeah, you actually like you will just fly off the edge all the time if you're going flat out in 200cc, and it's pretty cool. It also means that a lot of the other like car parts you can unlock now actually get use, instead of everybody just going I forget the name of it, the like race car with the slick wheels. Which was just like, this is the maximum top speed, and I'm never going to fuck up, and then I'm going to win. Sort of thing that everybody was doing in Mario Kart 8 on the Wii. Or excuse me, the Wii U. But the biggest thing, I think, is the battle modes. They added a whole bunch of battle modes to Deluxe. And it's not just the old style, like, oh, they've got balloons, and when you lose all your balloons, then you lose thing. They changed quite a bit. Did you do any of the battle modes?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Sorry.
So they have, if you remember back to
I remember original. I played original Mario Kart a lot in the battle mode there, the arena mode, basically.
Yeah, and like on the 64 they had it. I think they had it in Double Dash, and then they kind of got rid of it eventually. I guess they decided people didn't want it or something. I don't know. But it used to be you have 3 balloons. When you get hit, you lose a balloon. When you run out of balloons, you're done. So they have that mode in the battle modes. And that is, it's a little bit different in that when you lose all of your balloons, it just respawns you, but you lose points. And you gain points for hitting other people and breaking their balloons. So that way it's not like, well, I lost all my balloons, so now game over for me, and I guess I'll just wait around while everyone else finishes. You get to like actually play the whole way through. And that's pretty cool. They have a mode where it's like nothing but bombs the entire time, and you just constantly you're picking up tons of bombs, and you can throw around just non-stop bombs everywhere. So it's that same mode but a little bit crazy. And then they have like they call it Shine Thief, which is capture and hold, free for all capture and hold. It ends up actually playing a lot like that that mode that we were playing in Dirt 3, I think, not too long ago. Excuse me.
Showdown,
I'm
maybe?
Apparently dying. Yeah, Showdown. That's what it was. And so like there's a shine, and you pick it up, and you run around, and if you get hit, then you drop it, and it's whoever holds onto it for 20 seconds total wins. But
oh,
like
yeah.
But it like resets if you're at like 1 second left on your timer and you get hit, then it will reset you back to 5 when you have to pick it up. So it's pretty good. There's a few other modes too, but the one that I really, really like the most, they have this like team cops and robbers sort of mode. Where all of the like it splits you up into 2 teams of even numbers of people. And then one team is the cops, one team is the robbers. And the cops all have like those giant bitey plant things. I forget exactly what they're called. Stuck on the front of them, and if they get close enough to a robber, and the robber is going slow enough that they can catch him, then the thing will bite them, and it puts them in a prison. And so the cops' job is to put all the robbers in the prison. But any robbers that are still out of prison can open the prison. So it ends up being this really cool sort of like team, but no one can communicate with each other because it's like online in the fucking Switch. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like that they have new modes, and it kind of like it boils down to me the thing that I really find it interesting, aside from the fact that it's fucking great. But the thing that I really find interesting about it is that this isn't like Mario Kart 8-2 or Mario Kart 9, and they could have almost gotten away with calling it Mario Kart 9, I think. But it's like just a deluxe version, and we see lots of like it's Game of the Year edition, and we've added a playable character for like a first-person shooter or something. Sorry, I'm apparently choking to death.
Yeah.
But you don't really see something add like entire new game modes.
Yeah, it's a lot of features.
Version. Yeah,
a lot. But you have to rebuy it though, right? So
you do have to rebuy it. Yeah.
It kind of you've already played the first part. I think it would be a bit of a farce if it was just like the same game with HD graphics or something.
You say that, but it happens a lot. Like you'll see, Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition. I don't remember exactly what it was, but just using Fallout as an example. Like you'll see a deluxe edition that's a game like Fallout 3, and the thing that you get in the Game of the Year edition is you start with a different set of clothes or something. Right. Like, okay, yeah, but this doesn't actually matter. But it's the deluxe, it's the Game of the Year edition, and now I have to buy it again. Yeah, I just thought it interesting that, especially Nintendo, who's kind of known for re-releasing their games a fair amount.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And they like not even doing the Square like let's bring it back up to the common standards thing. It's like no, it's just you can buy this again. It's Virtual Console. How'd you like to own Super Mario Brothers for
again.
The 12th time? Yeah. But yeah, like they actually seriously added a lot to the game. It's really interesting.
Huh. Yeah, I'll have to try it again and sober. Yeah, I do remember I was on like Mute City 1, I think.
That one's also really tough.
Yeah. And I was flying off the track left and right. just I could not stand the track, and yeah, probably one of the reasons because brakes, but also yeah, it was that's not an easy track at all.
Yeah,
but it's a good looking game. I remember that much.
It is a good looking game. It's really fun. I don't know, if you have a Switch, play it. If you don't have a Switch, between this and Zelda, and Splatoon coming out in July, I don't know. I do not regret my choice at all to pick up a Switch.
Can I tell you that I've been loving my Nintendo Classic? Because I have the like a modded version. Yeah, the last one ever. I have a modded version with like 700 games. And I think it was last Saturday morning while I was recovering from the night before. I was playing Dragon Warrior, original Dragon Warrior. It was like my first. It was my first RPG, right? And I got pretty fucking far. I think I played it for like 6 hours straight, and I was just like hooked. Like I was, as I was playing, I was like, man, these are some shitty ass mechanics. Like I basically sat around like the first area, just kind of running around. Because I remember I used to have a map. I got Dragon Warrior back in like 90. Oh god, maybe 90. I don't know, like 92 or something like that. It was like one of the early issues of Nintendo Power. They were doing a PR thing, and they had this commercial. I remember I had this dude pretending like he was riding a dragon. And you could see like flames in the background, and he was like telling you the spiel about subscribe to Nintendo Power and you could get Dragon Warrior and help me slay dragons or something, right? And I was like, fuck yeah. And so I did, and they ended up giving me the game with the subscription. And so yeah, I played the crap out of it. But I remember there was a map that I had like permanently ingrained in my head, apparently, because I knew exactly where the edges of each like random enemy spawn level would be, so like I knew that this one area would just be just green slimes and occasionally like a Drakey or something, and then I knew that up here there were the magicians gave like high gold and decent XP, but they also they could do some work on you if you're not careful, and so like I just spent like 6 hours just grinding, like just fucking grinding. Just a green slime appears, a green slime has run away, a green slime appears, a green slime has run away. Man, it was great.
So speaking of games that are fucking great, you were saying, and by saying I mean you wrote the words "and Dirt 4" in this document.
I did. We haven't talked about. I don't think we talked about Dirt 4 at all.
We haven't.
So yeah, I love Dirt. The Dirt series is
also
awesome.
a big fan of the video games.
Yes, the video games is great. Yeah. Yeah, Dirt 2 is like my favorite, like of all time. And then Dirt 3 came along, and I was kind of like, I felt like they went like the Trials Fusion route, trying to make it all futuristic and shit. And I was kind of like, whatever. And I think that was actually before Trials Fusion. But then once I started streaming, that game basically was like free or something. It was like $2 or some shit, and everyone got it. So we started playing it. And then Showdown came out, and Showdown was just kind of like, okay, whatever. But anyways, like overall, and then Dirt Rally, and the Dirt Rally is just like an incredible racing like experience, from a difficulty standpoint. So Dirt 4 is coming out, and it looks amazing. I mean, obviously with better computers and everything, computing power, they're gonna look good. But one thing I thought was interesting, one of the new features they announced recently. So there's another game that is an official World Rally Championship game, WRC. It's actually called WRC Rally, I believe. And it's the licensed version. So it basically has like all the licensed shit in it, including apparently the actual official rally tracks.
Oh,
so
nice.
Dirt 4, no, but so that's the thing. Dirt 4 can't use the official tracks.
Oh. So
what they've done is they've created this system called Your Stage, which is essentially like an infinite track generator. So they could kind of just do whatever this is. They're not like, they don't have to make an accurate, one-to-one track to like the actual rally track. Just fuck it. It was make their own, and every stage is going to be, or could potentially be like procedurally generated or whatever. And they basically went through it. It seems like they built like tiles, like here's a type of turn, here's a straightaway, here's a berm, or like whatever. And they, and now they're putting that in as part of like their campaign mode or whatever. And so essentially allowing for like infinite, replayability.
Yeah.
I don't actually know if there's a release date on this. Let's see. Release date. June 9th. Okay, so soon actually.
Oh,
wow,
yeah, soon.
really soon.
It's a month away.
Yeah. I haven't read anything recently about VR, but I hope this thing supports VR like right out the box, because right now, like, I think you could kind of get it to work with a Rift. Or no, it supports a Rift, Dirt Rally, and I think maybe Dirt 3. But like the Vive is a bit of a pain in the ass to make work, and even when you get it to work, it's not even worth it at that point, because you spent all of your energy just trying to make it work. Oh, they said at a later date for VR. Thanks, Shake. Yeah, so a later date for VR. But man, I would love to play that game in fucking VR.
Yeah, like that's the exact sort of game that is really, really good for VR. I think like there's lots of games that are good for VR, but like it's a little bit gimmicky. Like Job Simulator is great, but it's the sort of thing that's like, well, after a little while, you're really just enjoying the jokes and not so much the VR experience. And like if another 12 job simulators came out, like people get tired of the gimmick real quick.
Yeah.
But something like Valkyrie, which I would imagine playing ending up being pretty similar to something like Dirt, where you're sitting in your chair while you're playing it, or you're on your couch or whatever, and you have a controller in your hand, or controllers in your hand. Or even like with the Oculus, like I guess you could still be using like if you don't have the touch, you could be using a mouse and keyboard still, or something. Or you get a fucking steering wheel. It's a driving game, right? Like,
yeah,
God,
anything
VR
that
with
you
like
are...
a driving game and pedal, or driving steering wheel and pedals, and like a little shifter. That'd be so good.
So iRacing supports it. I have
Nice.
right, is iRacing? Let me see. iRacing, no, not iRacing. Race Online, Race Rally, Riff Racer, Sonic All Stars Racing, F1 Race Stars. I have a lot of racing games. Okay, I can't find it, but one of my racing games, and I'm pretty sure it's iRacing, but supports VR, but it was very poorly optimized for it though. And so that's a critical thing when you're using VR. You need those frames.
Yeah.
Like, you desperately need those frames. Otherwise, you're going to be puking inside your fucking helmet. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's more racing game. Any cockpit game, I feel like deserves a shot at VR if it's something that the devs can afford to put in, for sure. Because it just makes it that much better for people that are running VR. And I don't really know like what sales look like right now. Like if sales are picking up or whatever. I think we'll find out like probably later this year. But yeah, I mean, I don't know like more and more people are picking up VR or not at this point. I think Sony will let us know with their sales.
Yeah, I mean, the PSVR has been around for long enough now that I kind of feel like they're not going to tell us the sales numbers, because like unless they're going to do like in the first year we sold this many or something.
Yeah.
Just because like I feel like if it was some crazy amazing number, we'd already know. They're like, holy shit, they sold 2 million PSVRs in the first day.
Yeah, that's true. They would definitely be bragging about it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like PSVR just isn't. I don't know. I'm starting to wonder if people are getting burnt out on the gimmick of VR, and so hopefully there will be enough of the games that really actually use it well. That come along in the near future. Otherwise, we're going to be back to like, well, VR, that was an interesting thing that people tried for a while, but I guess we'll try again in another 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I feel like...
Good.
Sorry. I was going to say, I feel like enough people who would actually purchase a VR system know enough people that have already purchased one or have just had an opportunity to try one, that it's kind of starting to lose some steam. And I'm worried that it's going to lose too much steam before something like the game that everybody switches to VR for comes out.
Yeah, I feel like people are over the, or they see like there's like a perception that it's gimmicky, and I get it. Like there are a lot of really good games on VR, like Waifu Sex Simulator. right? Like VR titties, right?
There's a lot of and
there's a lot of great experiences too. Like I can't remember the name of that virtual like chat room thing that I was doing. Like that was a really great experience. And if I had time, like I would just jump into random rooms, just bullshit with these dudes and just, you know, just whatever. Like that shit was actually pretty awesome. But what a consumer sees, a consumer who does not own a VR system, what they see is all of the, hey, here's a funny video from this game where you basically write on walls using shit. And that's an actual game. Thank you, Hohan. That's an actual game. And they see these funny videos from Markiplier or from whoever, and then it turns out, okay, well, that's now like, yeah, it's a gimmick. It's a bunch of gimmicky things, and that's it. And it's like, yeah, there's a lot of those, but buried underneath, there's actually a lot of really great games and experiences.
Yeah, it just seems like most of the really great games are like indie stuff, which doesn't mean that they're bad. It just means that they're not getting the exposure that the VR market really needs. Because like you're not going to go to, well, maybe you would, or maybe I would, but most people aren't going to be like hanging out with their buddies at the bar and being like, yo, you got to pick up Shovel Knight, dog. It's legit. Right? Like,
yeah,
that's not going to happen. So yeah, I feel like it needs more of those like, holy shit. Like it needs a major, honestly, not even, it needs a major publisher or major developer to say, okay, we're going to make a, I don't know, a Call of Duty game in VR. We're going to make a fucking Uncharted game in VR. God, an Uncharted game in VR would be so good. You could be like from first person, so like it's you climbing up the walls and shit. That'd be great. But yeah, it's like there needs to be a game like that, and right now you're getting like CCP is a fairly prominent developer, but they're kind of mostly known inside gaming circles. They don't really get too much exposure outside of people who are already hardcore gamers. Mostly because their most popular video game is literally like developed for people who like Excel spreadsheets. But so it's just kind of a niche audience. And yeah, a few developers have tried like little gimmicky stuff, like little tech demos essentially. But we haven't really seen like a Bungie or a Bethesda or another Bungie. I don't know. Like we haven't really seen another like really prominent developer like Naughty Dog really have like
really
a solid go at a VR game. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking through my list right now. That to see like what games I have from at least like some relatively known publisher, and it's pretty much like Elite. Like that's released and it supports it natively, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Elite, God. Everything else is like small, like almost mobile games, some of them are. Doritos VR Battle. I mean, that's a major brand, at least.
Yeah. And even Elite, it supports VR, but it doesn't require it. So it will drive some people to pick up VR because they're like really into Elite and they're like, yeah, I want to experience this at the next level or whatever. But it's not going to drive that sort of like, man, I really want to play Elite. I guess I better pick up a VR setup sort of thing.
Yeah. What we need, and I hate to say this, but we need Call of Duty VR.
We do.
Like we
need something
do.
like, yeah, like along those lines, or a Battlefield VR or something.
Yep. Oh my God.
Yeah. We need Resident Evil, seriously, for VR. It's on PlayStation VR, but
that's what I want. Like, yeah, I want like to be able to jump into a match and register myself as a VR pilot or something, you know, like, and all I do in Battlefield is just like fly shit or something, you know?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess Resident Evil probably, like, that's Capcom, but even then, still, it was like a re-release of an existing game. Like, there's nothing that's really come out from a major developer or in a major franchise that isn't playable somewhere else.
Yeah, and that's the problem, I think, too.
Yeah.
It needs to be something that's exclusive VR or something.
Yeah, or like that because if it's a game that I haven't played Elite, and I'm interested in playing Elite because it may violate this, but most of these other games, like, they don't really, they're based on something that isn't significantly enhanced by VR. Like Resident Evil, I guess, is kind of goes against this as well because it's like the extra scare factor of it. But for the most part, it's like, okay, yes, Surgeon Simulator, sure, you can play that, and this again isn't Surgeon Simulator is definitely not a AAA title. But even that, it's like you can play it without VR too, though. So I don't know. I'm sure it changes the way that it plays fairly dramatically, but it's like if I want to play this game, I don't need to go buy a VR headset first. I can buy the game first, and if I decide I like it, then I can play it in VR. And I think that's what's really stopping a lot of things, and just the lack of a real solid AAA title. Yeah,
that's gonna be a huge thing if we get that.
Yeah, and I'm worried because we don't really know. Or at least I haven't heard of any of those in development. That aren't like just a remake of an existing game. And I don't think a remake of an existing game is really going to do that well for VR. With some exceptions, sure, but like overall, like I guess Bethesda's working on like a Fallout 4 VR. And I've played the shit out of Fallout 4, don't get me wrong. The problem is it's a game I've already played. So I am less likely to want to buy it for VR, even though like I'm sure the VR experience will be great. I'm sure the game could benefit from being more directly immersed in everything. I'm sure it'll be really fun. Problem is I've already played this game, and I've played it a lot, and I know like what the storyline is, and I know what's going on, and I know where to go for certain things and so on. I don't have to do the exploring. I know to basically just fucking ignore the buildings entirely because they don't matter. Like these are all things that I know about Fallout 4 at this point, and playing it again just doesn't. Like I played through it once, and I was like,
"It's not a fresh experience." Yeah, you're like, "Oh, that's what this looks like from this angle."
Yeah, exactly.
From this
like,
perspective,
wow, this is a great like, and having like since I already own a PSVR, like I'll probably get it anyway, assuming that it comes on PlayStation. But, like, I guess for my let's see, how do I put this? Just thinking about trying to put this as an analogy from my own personal perspective. I bought a PSVR because I wanted a VR thing, and for me that was the easiest one to do. It meant that I could use it in my living room. It meant that I could make use of one of my multiple PlayStations. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is, and the budget was right on it also. It's cheaper than either the Oculus or the Vive. I was like, cool, got that thing, and I was planning to pretty much immediately get a PS4 Pro, because it gives you actually higher resolution in the VR itself. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And I haven't ever gotten around to buying the PS4 Pro because I just don't like. I used the PSVR for about a week and then I stopped, and I nothing has come across it that's really been like, oh fuck yeah, I need to play that right now. And I kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to buy VR gimmick games that are just like I don't want to buy another Job Simulator, I guess, basically.
Right.
I've played Job Simulator. If I want to just experience picking things up and putting things down around me, then I'll play more Job Simulator.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, Incognito and a bunch of others bring up a pretty good point too. It's like testing out a VR device is kind of hard for your average Joe, but expensive to try something new.
Yeah.
And Kimmy K, that's a good example too. Like she's been in this field, so she's well aware of what VR is. She's seen VR videos, but then she never had a chance to try it herself. Now she's tried it. Now she's fucking sold. And it's like, man, like, do they even invest in like these demo units or something to go to like kind of like Costco when you go to Costco get the samples and shit? Like, do we need like a station set up? Like, build a booth so that way they can go in there. They don't have to feel like an idiot sitting out, you know, with the headset on or whatever, and just try it out themselves. And then like maybe that's what they need to do.
Yeah, exactly. And like especially like it's a little bit less of an issue for the PSVR because buy PlayStation, buy headset is pretty straightforward. But trying to get a Vive or an Oculus, like that, seriously, like you need such a strong computer that it's gonna be all told it's like $2,000 to really be able to, and that's on the cheap end for the computer as well. If you buy one of the ones that people are like, this machine is VR ready. Like that's just $2,000 on its own.
Yeah, it's true. True.
It's tough to get into.
It is. I'm sure the price will come down. Like probably this. I don't know. I don't think we're going to see another VR unit this year because Oculus isn't even going to be on the floor at E3. So I don't think we're going to see anything new this year. But next year, I feel like definitely like that'll be when the Rift came out. I think it was like the 980 was like the hot shit.
Yeah.
Not even the 980 Ti yet. And now we're sitting on 1080 Ti. And so 1180 maybe the next, like just in terms of like generations, you know?
Yeah. It's interesting to think about too, like what is a VR upgrade going to be like? Is it going to be like consoles where you buy one and you generally expect it to last you like 4 years? Before something else comes along, or 8 years before something else comes along?
Or is it like a phone?
Yeah. Is it like well, it's been a year. Need to get rid of this thing and bring in the new one. Am I just, for the rest of my life, am I going to be paying monthly payments on a fucking VR headset?
Yeah, exactly, like a phone. Actually,
exactly.
That was actually my my big like theory. Like when VR first came out, it's like the way that they're going to be able to get it in people's hands is they have to reduce the sticker price. In order to do that, they need to, and we talked about it on the show actually. They need to come up with some kind of payment plan. And I likened it to the like back in my Comp USA days, we had a Black Friday deal where if they signed up for AOL, this is how long ago this was. But trust me, AOL was dead when we were doing this. If they sign up for a year of AOL, they get a free PC, and they just have to basically pay for that 1 year of AOL, and that's it. Or it was like a $99 complete PC system, which was also garbage. It's like a Celeron or something, one hertz. And so yeah, that was, I felt like that was something that worked. We sold those things like fucking crazy. And then, so now it's like, okay, why don't we do that again? Like come up with some kind of system that allow people to pay into it. And they could get, you know, the VR system or maybe a VR entire system with a computer and whatnot.
Yeah. Maybe maybe it won't even be an upgrade to the headset. It'll be a point where the cheaper PCs are actually able to do it.
Kimmy says that they do have a Vive payment plan, $66 a month for a year. Do they really? God, I even missed that because I already own one. So, you know, let's see. Payment plan. Let's see. Payment plan revealed. Oh, yeah. End of February, beginning of March. Let's see. I don't know if it's actually available yet, but updates is a story too. Yeah. So they have some kind of payment plan. $66.58 over 12 months. 7.99% plan for $40 a month over 2 years is also available. I forget chance. Oh, this is not direct though, or is it? Oh, it's JD.com. It's a separate site, looks like.
Okay. But still though, like that's the sort of thing that might help out.
Totally.
As well. Make a little bit less of a barrier to entry. But like you think about it too, like a big part of what eventually made like VR kind of has to go through the same general process that consoles did. Like ages and ages ago. Like it used to be if you knew a kid with a Nintendo, that kid was the coolest fucking kid around because no one had a fucking Nintendo.
Yeah.
Nowadays, if you know a kid who doesn't have a Nintendo, it's like, holy shit, we found one.
That's true. That is very true.
Well, I guess Nintendo is a bad example because that's not exactly the most common console anymore, but like they don't have a PS4 or an Xbox.
Well, no, I mean that's the thing. It's like I think your example is perfect because now, yeah, like the more and more like houses have like percentage wise, like you know, has an Xbox or you know some kind of gaming console, and that was not the case, you know, back in the 80s and 90s. You know, it was definitely, you know, I had a Nintendo and my buddy had a Super Nintendo because he could afford it or his parents could afford it, you know, and then so that was it. We went there all the time, all summer long.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering, like, is our experience of VR right now the same as what my dad's experience with the Atari 2600 was when I was a kid? And so now, like,
this will never catch on.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, or like the games compare what we had then for games compared to what we have now for games is just night and fucking day. It's so. Like obviously things have progressed quite a bit, and that's in 30 years if we say that I was 4 at the time. 3 at the time. I've lost track of how old I actually am.
That's what happens.
It does, yes. And thinking about it, actually, this was that was right around the time. So my dad would have been around what my age is right now. And so like in another 30 years from now, is that going to be when it's finally gotten to the point, or like 20 years, I guess, is that going to be when it's finally gotten to the point where everyone has a VR because enough people's dads had a VR and they got to try it out and they thought it was cool and they asked their parents for it for 6 years before their parents got them one?
You don't need the VR. It's going to make you kill people.
Oh, God.
So speaking of virtual reality, by which I mean speaking of actual reality.
Oh, here we go.
Whoa, dang.
Buckle up.
Yeah. But then unbuckle because the SWAT team is here to carry you off the plane, Mr. Ice Poseidon.
Dang.
Yeah, so there's actually a lot to unpack in this particular topic, I think.
Yeah.
But we'll start with Ice Poseidon, and we'll start with this particular instance. So he's a guy, I didn't know anything about him prior to this, never heard of the guy. But he's apparently a fairly popular, what's now called an IRL streamer. And he just streams basically everything he does. He was on a plane, and someone found out what plane he was on, found out what like his flight was and everything. And called in a SWAT team, and they came on the plane and escorted him off very forcefully. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, it wasn't like United style though. It was much funny enough, actually. It was much more civil.
Yeah.
Than that instance.
Yeah.
They just took his streaming. They said, "We'll take your electronics, sir," because he had his streaming rig up.
Yeah. And so, okay. This guy, he's gotten himself in a lot of hot water even up to this point.
Yes.
Like, he's not exactly known for having the most... he's the sort of person that someone's going to swat, I guess, is where I'm going with here. Like, he had already regularly been, like, out at a restaurant, and someone calls and talks to him on the phone. Because they find out what restaurant he's at and they call the restaurant. And it's not difficult to find out what restaurant he's at because, as I mentioned previously, that he streams fucking everything he does. So it's like, would you like to have hundreds of thousands of random internet people able to find your exact location at any moment in time? Well, guess what happens as a result? Shit like this starts happening. And it had been moderately harmless for the most part, like, other than obviously annoying literally everyone around him.
Right, yeah.
Like, there had been a few instances where it was like, oh god, there's some drama. Ice Poseidon, like, saw someone jump off a building or something on his stream. And it's like, oh, I don't actually really want to look into that too much. This sounds depressing. But then he gets swatted and summarily banned from Twitch.
Yep. Perma-banned. Not even like temp ban, nothing. It's perma-ban from Twitch. He says that I guess they kicked him because he gave away his location. Which that's what I read. I can't find the notes here anywhere, but somebody who saw the live stream said that he did at one point say something along the lines of, you know, what's the worst you could do? Like, I'm in an airport, like, fuck you, you know? And I think he did give away like where he was at. But even without that information, even if he was vague with that,
it's still easy to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, he probably said where he was going. People already knew where he was. They already know his fucking name. That's it. You can just Google that shit. You know what flight it is, and you know his name. Hey, so and so on this flight has a bomb. Ta-da! And that's it. Just like that. One anonymous phone call. And that's it. And even when the guys came in, right, and they stopped, they're coming down the aisle, and they looked at him. The first thing out of his mouth was, "Of course."
Yeah. And so, I guess a lot of the discussion around this has been: should Twitch have bombed Ice Poseidon.
Wait, what?
Have bombed. Banned Ice Poseidon.
I think
should Twitch have swatted Ice Poseidon? It's an inside job.
I think that Ice had Twitch scared. I think they banned him for their protection.
Oh, I absolutely
because like I mean this is like look at like Andy Milonakis. He basically does the same thing. He walks around, he's an asshole to people. And it's just these people are doing it constantly. And yeah, like someone's gonna get honestly, someone is gonna get fucking killed on Twitch, dude. Like it's gonna happen. Like all these times that people are swatting people's houses, these streamers that typically try to do a pretty good job of keeping their location private. Someone gets a hold of it and somehow then they swat them. Well, if you're IRL streaming, people can fucking see where you are.
Yeah,
and they could just extrapolate everything else from there, and then that's it. Now more people have the opportunity. So now it's like even the laziest of swatters will fucking do it. And it's bound to happen. Someone's gonna say, hey, it's this person has a bomb or has a gun or whatever, and some trigger happy cop or some not trigger happy necessarily, but maybe some nervous cop is gonna shoot somebody, and that's gonna be it. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, like some dumbass IRL streamer at some point is going to have all of his rig on him and be like, Twitch chat, what should I say right now? And Twitch chat will get him to say something about this is for ISIS or whatever, and all of a sudden now he's getting chased down and shot because look, he has all of this equipment strapped to him. It's probably a bomb. He made it himself. Who knows what the fuck it looks like? Yeah. And like honestly, so here's my whole take on this whole story is fuck IRL streamers. Just like okay. Fuck specifically the ones that don't tell people around them what they're doing. That just show up somewhere, broadcast the people around them, broadcast the people that they're talking to, without any sort of option at any point for that person to say, I don't want to be on your fucking stream. Like, if I was at a restaurant and an IRL streamer was sitting the next table over to me, I would ask him to leave, and then I would ask the restaurant to make this guy leave because he's broadcasting me to everyone around. I don't want that. I want to be able to have a conversation with whoever I'm there with without worrying about if I'm being overheard in broadcast.
That part I get, especially if you're in a privately owned location.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't want people going like, hey, I just like, especially as someone who like people will recognize me if there's enough people watching an IRL streamer's stream and he goes into a restaurant and I'm sitting there, they'll be like, oh shit, that's Lore. He's at that place too. I don't want that. This makes me nervous for my own safety if someone shows up IRL streaming where I'm at.
You nerf my class.
Well, like I don't know who's out there.
I know.
And
no,
neither do these fucking streamers.
Yeah, no,
like,
that's true. They'll find you, dude.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of people who do IRL streams or they do streams in the IRL categories. Like Bajira will stream himself working out and he puts that under IRL because, well, that's what that category is actually for. And if he's like at a gym somewhere, he asks the people around him, hey, is it okay if I record this? Or is it okay if I stream this? Usually easier to just say, is it okay if I record this? Because then like,
basically the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's easier to explain to people.
I don't mind. I watch some of the IRL stuff. I don't watch anybody in particular. Like I feel like everything I've watched from Ice has been after the fact, so it's usually something fucked up. But there are a few that are, like they're just like chilling. They're just chilling in like some like fast food joint and just talking or whatever, and or around their house, whatever. But there's a couple. There's this one Japanese girl. I don't know what her name is, but like she's super charming, right? And she's just walking around and just talking and answering questions, and she seems just as intrigued with chat as chat is with her, what she's doing, and it's really kind of an interesting dynamic that she has. But yeah, I mean, I like some of the IRL stuff. I mean, it's the voyeuristic thing, you know. It's like Justin TV, funny enough. It's kind of like being able to kind of get a peek into someone's life and see, you know. It's like I was like, oh, that person, you know, has this thing on their wall and this kind of decor, and that's this person's life is like, and it's kind of interesting. And if it's public, because that is this person's neighborhood. You know, that's what it looks like. That's their day-to-day thing. It looks fresh and new to me. I've never seen a neighborhood like this before, but that's what they live in, and that's crazy. I get what you're saying in a private location. It's like, yeah, like don't broadcast me, you know, talking shit about people.
Even in a public location, if I'm walking down the street and someone's broadcast, I don't want that. Like, I do not want someone else streaming me without my knowledge, especially in a physical location. I don't know who that is.
Right.
I don't know what I'm now being a part of. Also, FYI, it's fucking illegal. You cannot broadcast someone's likeness without their permission. There's certain limits. Like, yes, there are certain limits to it, and there's ways to slightly get around it in some cases. Where, like, if you, so most of the time, what'll happen is you like, okay, I'm walking down. This is a sequence of our show where we're walking down the street. There's someone with a sign that says, "We're filming in this area. If you come down this way, you might be on film." That's usually the case, and that covers your bases. There's oftentimes there will be like, you think to stuff like Trigger Happy, where you are in a theater or something, and it's like the guy gets up and he starts shouting. The people that are near, because it has to be candid, they can't tell them in advance. What will happen is afterwards they'll have a producer or somebody that says, "Hey everyone, this is what just happened here. If you would like us to not have you be part of this television show, then sign here."
So yeah, you're right about that. But there's no, and this is from a photographer standpoint, there's no reasonable expectation of privacy when you're in a public place. And so but
that's true of individuals. That's not true of businesses.
So yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing I don't honestly know enough about, but the examples given make sense. A street photographer can do whatever the fuck he wants. I don't know. I don't know where the line is drawn. I mean, the street photographers do all the time. They just walk around and take pictures of people, and you know, at worst, they could like beat their ass or whatever. But they're not doing it for. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where they draw the line for the business stuff. That's that part. I have no clue. I know I have to get releases from the models that I work with. Because I'm publishing the photos and I'm making a profit from the photos and whatnot. But like a hobbyist going out and doing that stuff, like that's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's the line about being a business, whether or not you're attempting to make money off of what it is you're doing. And even if you're not going to sell the thing directly, if you're going to use it for some form of marketing, you're going to put it on your Instagram account where you also sell things from, anything along those lines, it is actually illegal. Most of the time, like street photographers, they'll just get away with it because no one cares. And because like they never find out. Like if you go take a picture of a random dude on the street, post that on Instagram, say, "Hey everybody, buy my album. This guy loves it." Like that guy's never gonna fucking find out. So you're never gonna get caught realistically. It's still illegal, but you're not gonna get caught. If I'm the point of that though is that like it comes down to getting caught. And if you're a fucking IRL streamer with this rig, like it's pretty easy to tell what's going on versus like someone just quickly snapping a picture. And so I don't know, man.
So here let me read this real quick because this is on Wikipedia, the legality of recording by civilians. And I think this is actually just like this conversation we're having right now. The laws regarding the recording of persons and property by means of still photography, videography, and audio recording vary by location. In many places, it is common for the recording of public property, persons within the public domain, and of private property visible or audible from the public domain to be legal. But laws have been passed in many places restricting such activity in order to protect the privacy of others. To make matters even more complicated, in many places and in many situations, the laws governing still photography may be vastly different from the laws governing any type of motion picture photography. So yeah, you're right. It is a completely convoluted and fucked up realm. And yeah, so yeah, my perspective from a photographer, that field, that's what I've learned. That seems like that still stands, but that's still photography, not videography. And that's also in California, not necessarily anywhere else. And also in San Francisco Bay Area, not necessarily anywhere else. So yeah, it seems like it's pretty convoluted.
It has to. So the biggest hook for it doesn't actually have to do anything directly with the recording. It's likeness laws. You have the right to your own likeness unless you give it to somebody else for commercial purposes. If someone takes your picture and uses it for a commercial purpose without getting the rights to do so from you specifically, that is breaking the law. And so that's the biggest hook there. It's not that they took a recording of you necessarily. It like they could take your picture and keep it for their own fucking wank bank all they want.
Yeah.
That's legal. That's fine. If you're out in public and someone takes your picture and keeps it for themselves, there's nothing protecting that from happening. It's the broadcasting of it. It's the sharing of it. It's the using it in
because these people are making money. Like they're turning
you.
Profit, ads and bits and cheers and subs and all that stuff. So they are technically turning a profit.
They're a business.
Yeah. I mean, yes. The business thing is also pretty gray area. It's like
sure, like you can make arguments about what type of business.
Yeah,
they are,
exactly. Yeah, it's a weird thing. Wow. Huh. Well, I'm not smart enough to really deem either way. So
the only reason, the reason that I feel so confident about saying this is because it's something that gets involved in a lot of the events that we run through Blizzard. If we run an event and we say we're going to record this, then there will be fucking signs up everywhere that say your likeness may be recorded. Do not enter if you don't. Blah blah blah, something like that.
Yeah, because they're definitely a business, though.
We're definitely a business, and so is everyone. So is every fucking streamer. Like there is not a single streamer who is not a business as long as they're making money, because the result of that is they get Twitch will file their taxes. They will say, all right, we paid these contractors X amount. Here you go. And then according to the government, every single one of those people is now designated as a contractor. It's also part of your agreement with Twitch when you yeah. So I guess technically you could say they're a contractor, not a business, but even then, contractors are treated like businesses for law.
Huh. Interesting. And I'm willing to bet that varies from location to location.
Sure, to some extent. But within the United States, streamers are a business.
I wonder if anything's ever going to come out of that, like some kind of, definitive case that helps like really kind of solidify it, because we're in the contractor era right now, right? The contractor generation where everybody's working, that was called, they call it the gig era, gig generation or something like that. Where effectively everybody is just, maybe not necessarily working a job, but they're, they have a number of different gigs that they're pulling money from. And so there's a lot of definitions on what a business is that allows you to claim certain things while at the same time being immune from certain things, because you're a business, but you're not a business in some cases because of the way it's been handled before. And this from filing taxes, like, oh, I could deduct all this shit or whatever, and it's all underneath your social security number because you don't have like a business UID or whatever they call it. So yeah, it's
Yeah, and regardless, it comes down to, like, given that it's in my mind at least largely based around likeness laws. If someone is making money off of something that involves your likeness, regardless of what, like, it doesn't have to be I was streaming and I put this guy's face and someone sent me 500 bits and said that guy has a good face, that's why I'm sending you these bits. Like, if you were on the stream.
That's the best example ever. That guy has a good face. Here's 500 bits.
Yeah, like if they're involved in your product in this case being the stream, and you as a result make money, you have now made money in a way that uses someone's likeness without getting their permission. And that's where the problem comes in. And also aside from that, like the whole general, like, for me personally, I don't want someone doing an IRL stream near me. I don't want to be on their stream.
Right.
I give zero shits about their chat room. There's a reason, like, when I call someone on Discord while I'm streaming, I go, hey, I'm streaming, is it all right if I call you? I don't, of course. Like, I just be like jumping into my guild's Discord and broadcasting it without telling them, because I'm not a douchebag who's gonna broadcast people that don't know they're being broadcast.
Yep.
So yeah, if you're gonna IRL stream, tell people so they can tell you not to if they want to. And don't be a fucking douchebag. Anyway, so speaking of Twitch, I wanted to talk a little bit about Twitch affiliates program because it's really interesting for the sort of future of Twitch. Basically, it's like subscriber light at the moment. Like you get some extra transcode options, or excuse me, not subscriber, partner light. You get some extra transcode options. I think you can up your bit rate. You're allowed a higher bit rate, the same that partners are, and you can accept bits, which is the big thing. Is now you can. You don't get like custom emotes. You don't get a sub button yet. Apparently, they're talking about adding a sub button to affiliates, which is interesting. But yeah, no, really it's super cool.
Huh. I'm just reflecting on that you just said that they're going to add sub buttons to affiliates.
Yeah,
that would really.
I've heard that they're going to add sub buttons to affiliates, but I haven't
I'm looking
seen
at it
it
right now.
directly
Actually,
from Twitch.
it says subscriptions, Twitch affiliate coming soon.
Okay, cool.
And one sub emote. So it looks like they will be able to get. Well, I'm sure these things. If subscriptions are coming soon, then they're probably going to iron out what the subscription emotes system is going to look like, because really the money's in the emotes. You know, there's subs that some people have just for the emotes. So of course that's something you want to you aspire to work towards. Transcodes as available with priority access. Let's see, past broadcast storage is the same. Let's see. It's kind of looking at all the different things. I mean, it looks pretty good, really. It just seems like, you know, it seems very, very similar. Just, you know, like you said, diet partners.
Yeah. Partner zero. Yeah, it's interesting for Twitch to go this route instead of loosening their partner status or their partner requirements.
Yeah.
Like they could have said, okay, we want to get more people earning money on Twitch. We want to encourage more people to earn money on Twitch. So we'll make more partners. And I think they did that for a long time and maybe started to kind of regret it because it meant that a lot of people like me got partner, and now I just don't stream that much anymore. So I'm probably not really worth the... I probably don't make them enough money to pay the guy that has to file the fucking 1099. But again, that's also part of the risk of the cost of doing business to some extent is you're gonna have people that don't generate as much money as others, and that sucks. But the goal is to get more. Anyway, putting in this affiliates program, I don't know. It's weird. I'm really kind of struggling to come up with why they would add partner light instead. Maybe it's like because they're starting to do more stuff this is a special bonus just for partners, and they didn't want to open up that to everyone, maybe? Perhaps.
Yeah, it's a way to keep the partner pool under control while
like
still allowing people to, or incentivizing people to stick with the system, and you'll build up to Twitch affiliate. Yeah.
Yeah, like
I mean, we know they're all about tiers.
They do love tiers. Sweet, delicious, salty tears.
Well, you know.
Bible thump. What was that? Oh yeah, and you think about stuff like at the Twitch party, there's always the Twitch partner lounge. But the partner lounge, like, they've had to stop inviting all of the partners to it. Yeah. Because there's too many fucking partners. I would not be surprised. Honestly, actually thinking about it, here's a little tinfoil hat theory for you. Twitch is coming out with affiliates because they want to add partner elite. And they didn't want their first move to be a restrictive one.
Yeah, there you
go. So if I was Twitch and I wanted to come out with a special ultra partner brand, then this is what I would do, is I would say, okay, we make the positive move first, and then when people complain about the negative move, we say, oh, but we did this positive thing. Remember that? Whereas if you do the negative one first, then it seems like if they went to partner elite first. So I'm sort of imagining partner elite as it's partners, but we've stopped doing certain things with partners now, and we'll only do them with elite partners, partner elites, whatever. And this is just a name that I'm making up. They could come up with something cooler than partner elite. Mythic partners.
Mythic partner. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So they say, okay, we come out with Twitch affiliates. And hooray, we're adding even more people. Man, so many people are going to be able to get in now and start earning money through Twitch. Isn't this a great thing that we've done that just makes Twitch money because they don't really have to do anything special with these guys? Because Amazon handles literally 100% of the paperwork there. I guess they have to worry about the paying the partners, or the affiliates, but that's about it. And then later they come out with this partner elite version, which is like, well, now only elite partners get to go into the special room at TwitchCon, and only elite partners get to have a direct line of conversation to people at Twitch, and so on. Yeah, I'm a little bit tinfoil hatting here, but I'm slightly wondering if that's the direction they're heading.
Interesting. Well, I think we'll probably see something at TwitchCon later this year.
Yeah.
Some kind of segregation.
Yeah. The question is the segregation pre-TwitchCon? So they can have separate lines, or do they announce it on day one before they let anyone in? They're like, all right, now all of our elite partners come over here to this special line.
Yep. Huh.
Yeah. We've been talking for like an hour already. I kind of don't care about this enough.
Yeah, no.
I kind of don't care about this enough.
Yeah, no.
What do you want to say about these?
Well, you need to watch Silicon Valley, you fuck.
I do need to watch Silicon Valley.
I'm telling you,
told me that.
I'm telling you,
it's something
fuck
I've
you.
decided.
No, fuck you, fuck you. You watch it. You watch it. I don't know what else to say around that, right? This is just you
watch it.
Watch it.
Oh, hang on. Watch it. Watch it.
Watch it. Watch it.
Watch it.
You need to watch it. Seriously, it's good. It's good. And I know there's actual record of me on the show telling you in the past that you need to watch it. Probably like, at least once a season, I think.
I need to watch it at least once a season?
Yes, no, fucking goddamn it.
Okay, I'll watch episode 7. I'll watch season 2, episode
Just roll
3.
The dice.
Okay. I will try to remember to watch Silicon.
Thank
Is it
you.
on Netflix or Hulu
HBO
or something? Oh. Well, I'm never going to watch Silicon Valley.
I just steal it.
Stealing is wrong, Mike B.
And whatever.
Yeah. So what about... So I didn't actually get to catch the... I'm not even transitioning. I'm just going directly into another topic.
Just
out.
Yeah.
Done. I didn't actually get to catch any of the PUBG tournament earlier.
So I watched some of it.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good. They had a really interesting system set up. Whenever they're doing duos and whenever both of your teammates die, you could then go into caster mode.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so like Bike Man died and then he went caster mode. And
that's really cool.
I was watching the main feed first, and then I went to so once he died, someone in Discord was like, oh, downtown to watch him, he's gonna cast. And I was like, what? And I went and watched, and sure enough, he started. I opened it up, and the first things out of his mouth was like, "You ever notice how everyone looks like they have to pee real bad because they're moving back and forth?" And I was like, "I'm just gonna listen to the other guy." But he had a good angle though. Like I think it was like the second match, or maybe I think it was like the second match. It ended up like it was like a Michael Bay film at the end, man. It was like there were 3 guys left. 2 of them were on a team, and when the one guy was hiding behind a vehicle, and for the most part, for the greater majority of the last circle, like he was pretty much undetected. And then once they had him, they basically just like blew up the fucking car and took him out. It was glorious. But yeah, I didn't watch the second one that went down, but they ended up raising it was a charity event. They ended up raising over $220,000 This is at Gamers Outreach charity invitational, and yeah, they over $220,000. They said so. It's pretty fucking significant amount of money. Pocket was in it. I don't know where she ranked, but there's a bunch of people in it. Somehow Shizzle didn't make it, which is really fucking weird.
Yeah, he was really salty because that
maybe not make it, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like he wasn't in the thing. And like Thad made it, and Shizzle was pretty salty about that. And it is a little bit weird. Like Shizzle has a more regular following and has been streaming longer than Thaddeus is. But
yeah,
I don't really feel like comparing the two of them on this show. I don't think we get anything out of that. But yeah, I really I actually think the switch to casting thing is completely brilliant for PUBGs.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of times when a franchise is really trying to establish itself, and even sometimes, like this actually happens for WoW sometimes, when you're trying to figure out who your casters are, who are the people that you can use to cast tournaments, that ends up being a huge problem actually a lot of the time, because unless it's like StarCraft or League of Legends or Overwatch, like those are if someone says I want to get into esports casting, you kind of go after one of those games, like Dota as well, obviously. Heroes of the Storm, etc. But like there's a certain like circle of games that are like, I want to get into casting, that is the game that I should go after. And then you have games like PUBG, where it's just getting started, and sure, it's really popular on Twitch right now, and there's probably a lot of people that would like to cast it, but they need a way to be able to PUBG. They need a way to be able to vet a ton of people that could be casters in a hurry. And so this is actually great. Like they'll be able to go back and look at the VODs and they'll be like, yeah, Bike Man did fucking awesome while he was casting. When we have an event, if he's not playing, we should have him cast it.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. I wish we could do that for WoW somehow, because we really need, especially European World of Warcraft casters. So if you're a European,
is this a job posting right now?
Yeah. If you are in Europe and want to cast WoW arenas, hit me up. I can put your name in. Know what I'm saying?
We're so far into fucking DigiWho that we've reached the classified section in the back.
Yeah, exactly.